Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm back for how long I don't know. There's a lot that I want to tell you. There's a lot going on, a lot happening in the world, but there's also a lot happening in my world, so you can see. I've been sick for the last 3.5 weeks. I still have the scratchy throat. I still have um, the voice that is sounding like something straight out of a AI video. I can assure you that it is me. I am sounding this way because I've been sick for the last 3 weeks. And I have to tell you what happened with all of that because there's a lot of stuff that's happened. So I guess I'll just start with what happened to me personally on the 14th of December. That was a Sunday. I woke up with a sore throat, and I was supposed to sing that night or that evening in a concert. And I had been rehearsing for the concert since July or June, I guess, May or June, I guess it was. And I had worked so hard on the song, on the solo duet thing, that I just was like determined to sing. I mean, you could not you could not stop me from singing even if you wanted to. I mean, I was so determined to do it, and I said I was going to do it. And so I got to the church to do the song or do the concert with the choir, and we rehearsed, and I felt fine, and everything was just okay. And through during the rehearsal, we got to sit down and stuff, which made it a little bit easier and stuff. And during the concert, I got a dizzy spell, and I had to sit down. So I'm sitting on the bleachers, and I had to sit down for during several of the songs because I thought I was going to fall over. And I wasn't the only one. There was another lady in the choir who also had a spell, and she also had to sit down. So it wasn't just a one-off. It was something's going around, and something has had a very drastic effect on a lot of people. So I wasn't worried too much about it because I just thought, well, this is it is what it is. But about halfway through the concert, our director did a cello solo, which was absolutely amazing. He plays a wonderful cello, so it's really, really good. So he does the cello solo, and the other lady goes and takes the chair that he was sitting in to do the solo, and she brings it over to where I am so that I can sit during the part of the concert. So I sat for much of the time during the second half of the concert. And when I got up to sing the solo part for that song, I stood up. And so I was on my feet during the song. And after the song was over, remained standing for the next song. And then when we did the church, where the people in the congregation or the group of people in the audience could sing with us, I sat back down. So I stayed seated until the very end of the concert. And then I was given this really beautiful rose from the choir for the solo, and I thought that was really, really nice. It was really, really beautiful. And then as we were leaving, I hit my head, like right here, on this stupid podium thing. They had like a piece of wood that was on top of the podium, and it was like at a slant, so it was like this. And I hit my head on it, and I thought I had gotten a migraine, or not a migraine, but a concussion because it was so hard, and it went blap, and it was like really loud. And the strangest thing is it felt like nobody noticed it, and but it was really, really, it really hurt. And for like 2 weeks after that, right here on the side of my head, I had like it was swollen a little bit, but now it's gone. So there's no more pain and everything. It's okay. But during the time that after that, I had that boil on my head, and it like really hurt and everything. I didn't see a doctor about it. I figured, I'll be okay. Everything will be fine. But I did monitor myself really, really carefully afterwards because I thought that I probably should make sure that I don't have a concussion because I did have a concussion once, and it was after I hit an awning when I was at a restaurant when I was 20 years old. 12 hours later, I was in the bathroom with extreme vomiting, and I was very, very sick. So I was very, very conscious about that. And so 12 hours after that incident, I was really checking to make sure that I didn't have a concussion because if I did, then I'd have to go to the doctor and get all that taken care of. So I did not, I did not, do that. So, I didn't have any nausea or anything like that, so it was okay and I was fine. But, the day after the concert, I was just on my back. I was sick. I was so sick I couldn't, and, then I started coughing, and I was going through a box of Kleenex a day. It was just really, really, really awful. I had not been that sick in a long time. So, I mean, not since I had lost my voice in 2018. So I was just like really going, oh God. And I called my friend who was also sick because we both got sick on the very same day. And she told me that she was written sick. She was like excused from work for 3 weeks until the 2nd of January. So she had the same thing I did. So she and I were both like pretty much on the same calendar as far as our health and as far as, when we were going to get better and stuff. So she went back to work on Friday. I'm still coughing. My immune system was shot since I had chemotherapy back in 2017. So it's just been shit. Excuse my language, but that's what it's been. It's just really, really bad. So, I basically, I was out for the count over Christmas. We did not go to Berlin to visit my brother-in-law and his family. We stayed here. So we were at home for Christmas. My husband's sick now. He got the same thing I did. We live in such close quarters that we were both sick. So that's what happened. Um, we're still sleeping separated. Our house is a mess because I haven't cleaned in like 3 weeks. I haven't felt like it because I've been sick, and so that's basically what's going on with that. So that's why I haven't been on. That's why I haven't done any videos. That's why I haven't been given many updates and stuff on what's happening because I just have not felt up to it. I've just felt so bedraggled that I just couldn't do anything. So that's basically where I'm at. Um, my voice is still, not up to snuff, so I probably shouldn't be talking so much, but there's so much I want to tell you about what's going on and what I've been getting as far as hits and things like that. And I've been having some really strange dreams too. So there's just a lot of stuff happening that is kind of, I think, perpetuating a lot of the things that are happening. And I think you're noticing it too, probably. Some Three Eye Atlas and that stuff going on with that. Watching intuitives with orbs behind their heads, and I was watching Hogarth's today, and he talked about a hit that he got on camera when it gave him the absolute shivers, and he looked like he was like that. And I was like, wow, this is like, so it's happening to a lot of people. People are seeing things or noticing things in videos and stuff. And I think the universe is responding to all of the things that are happening in the world. And we are just basically trying to make it from one moment to the next without, completely losing our minds. A few days ago, I attended a live stream with Deborah Lupien, who was the one who basically got me inspired to go back and do my meditations and to do the daily writings because that was such a time consuming thing, and I was just writing like 2.5 hours or so, and then doing the video, and then that taking almost 3 hours to do each day. And my husband is retired now, so he's home every day, so it just kind of fell by the wayside after he retired, so I haven't done anything. But I'm hoping to get back into doing that and keeping up with it because I think that it's important. And I think right now, I think I need it as much as anything. And I think that it will help. And reconnecting with Fred Rogers, reconnecting with all the people that have talked to me over the time period that I was doing the meditations, and I may actually go back and reread some of the stuff that I did last year, and may just start fresh again this year, and continue doing the writing and stuff. But with that said, I think that is kind of sort of where everything's going. I do not want to talk too extensively about world events right now because I mean some of the stuff is so awful, and it's just it just brings down your energy. And my guides have been telling me karma is coming, karma is coming, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. But it's very, very difficult not to worry because human life is important and people's lives are significant. And I think that this is I think where we are metaphysically is where we're kind of at that point where we're saying, you know what, this is human life, this is about people, this is about humanity and where we are going. And whether we are viewing this as a diversion from the e-files, whether we are viewing this as a diversion from what Mr. Smith goes to Washington, if you will, his uh, his when he spoke to Congress. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is all a diversion tactic. I have a feeling it is. This the energy is kind of telling me that this is all trying to divert people's focuses away from all of these um, rich and powerful people who are basically up to their eyeballs in scandal, or if it's just something that is just happening because it's happening. I tend to believe that it's because they are up to their eyeballs in scandal and that they are having some issues. But with that said, I'm going to pull out my yes and no cards. I'm going to see what my guides have to say because I've been babbling along enough, and this is going to be a very long video. I think it's probably going to be much longer than most of my other videos, maybe half an hour to an hour, but we'll see. So, what is this? Is all of this stuff that's going on, is this a way to conceal or to hide away from the scandals that are taking place? Mostly the e-files. Is this a way to divert focus away from the e-files? Is this a way to divert focus away from the e-files? So I get the feeling that it is. That's what the energy is telling me. But let's see what my card has to say. Is this a way to divert focus away from the e-files? And ironically, this says no. I think it is. What's the card under it says? Yeah, the card under it says no too. There we go. And this one says no. Okay, so um, then I guess are there some other underhanded things at play here? Are there other incentives at play here? Is it about, you know, other incentives like money? Yes. Okay, so it is about the cash. So, but it may actually be they may be doing this as an intention to they may be doing this as an intention to keep people. This may be an underlying intention to keep people's focus diverted away from the files, away from the testimony, away from all the other stuff. So this may be an underlying, like the main thing is the money. This is about what it is. It's about oligarchs and money and people getting power and obtaining power and maintaining power. Underlying, so something that's like beneath the surface of that, uh it may be about trying to conceal, keep people in ignorance, basically. So I think that there's a lot of stuff going on beneath the surface. Okay, so I got the deck that I wanted, the Gilded Tarot Royale. I got it for Christmas for my husband, so I'm so happy. Haven't used it yet. I've not used the cards yet, but I have to tell you, cards are so amazing. So I don't know if I'm going to do any readings with them today. I might. I'm just see what happens. I still have my trusty Gilded Tarot, but I mean the cards. Although I don't know if I can show you that the sun is kind of blinding. I'm gonna lower the blinds a little bit, and then we'll see what if this helps a little. Let me pause this. Okay, this works a little bit better. I had to lower the blinds because it was like really, really bright, and I was trying to just show up a card here. So this is the Fool. And I wanted to show you something because I thought this was really amazing. Um, what? My papers just fell. Okay. I wanted to show you this, and I thought that this was really neat. I took my Gilded Tarot cards. These are my trusty, reliable cards, the ones that I have been using for a while. And I wanted to like compare them to the Gilded Tarot Royale. And as you can see, the backs are different. This is the Gilded Tarot Royale. This is the Gilded Tarot. So you can see that they're a little bit different. And my husband asked me, he said, "Well, why do you want this, a deck that is very, very similar?" And I said, "Well, I love the artwork, and I just thought Ciro Marchetti's artwork is just amazing. And I just wanted to show you compare the artwork from one deck to the other and how his artwork evolved from from this to this, and how much more detail there is in this card as opposed to this one." So he not only did updated the cards, but he added more detailed specifics to them to make them a little bit better. Now I'm gonna go through this. Some of the cards. Okay. Um, Here's the Magician card from the Gilded Tarot Royale. I mean, it's a more updated card, and it has the same imagery as this, but as you can see, there's more detail to his face, and you can see a lot more to the card. I just thought that was really interesting. The other thing that I wanted to show you, and I haven't mixed these because I haven't had a chance to work with them. I think it was the Nine of Cups. Yeah, let me see. The Nine of Cups. Um, the Nine of Cups is a very interesting card to me because, let's see. I wanted to pull the Nine of Cups out of the Gilded Tarot. Um, the one thing that I never noticed, and Libby notices this about this particular card, but I never noticed the rat at the top of the rafter. It's right up here. Whoops, it's very hard to, there. The rat at the top of the card, and she says, "Pooping in the cup." And I never noticed it on the Gilded Tarot, and Libby noticed it on the Gilded Tarot Royale. And you can see the rat, up here at the corner here. And she says a rat pooping in the cup. So it's like, offering up something and it not being the very best. So what I'm going to do, I just thought that was really interesting. The different artworks on these cards are pretty amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to initiate my Gilded Tarot Royale deck, and I'm going to see if these cards have the energy that is needed for I don't know. The cards are amazing. New card smell. I love it. Uh-huh. So, so I want to see if I can pull some cards for what's going on in the world. Okay. I mean, I don't want to go into too much. I don't want to go into too much high intense reading on this because I think everybody's doing this. I think every intuitive on YouTube is talking about this issue and about what's going on. And I and some of the card readers are saying that there's not going to be any any outcomes with this, or that there's not going to be any I don't know. They're saying there's not going to be any consequences to what's going on, and I think that's kind of depressing and everything. So I want to see for myself what the cards have to say with regards to the possibility of um, there being outcomes or consequences to what's going on. And so I'm going to ask the question, will there be consequences for what is happening? I don't know, good or bad. I'm just saying yes and no, simple yes and no question. Will there be consequences for what is happening right now in this current state of things? So let's see what my guides have to say here. Okay. I haven't pulled cards in a while. Basically, basically because I've been sick, so I haven't pulled cards. I haven't really, put a lot of energy into it. I wanted to do a New Year's reading. I wanted to do a bunch of stuff, but things don't happen always the way you intend. Sometimes you just get life throws you a curveball, and you just have to kind of take it as it comes. So, will there be consequences for what's going on? Whoops, a card just flipped out, and it's the Nine of Pentacles, and to me, I mean, just looking at the image on this card, I get the feeling that there will be consequences, but I'm not sure what kind of consequences. Let's see if my guides. They told me to shuffle again. Okay, shuffle again. They're okay now. Yeah. And it's crossed by the Ten of Wands. So yeah, there will be consequences, but they may be actually a tougher to carry, uh, more difficult to carry and to contend with than people think. So that's the feeling that I get, is that the Ten of Wands is, this is the burden to carry. And this is also, the 10 is also the end of the cycle. So will this be the end of things in the US? I don't know. Is it at the end of the things in Venezuela? Perhaps. But there is an ending to the cycle. The cycle is coming to an end. So we'll just see what the next card has to say. Okay, the next card is the Eight of Wands. God, these cards are beautiful, aren't they? The Eight of Wands is, I get the feeling that this is about moving forward. So you're moving forward, and the underlying energy is moving forward, moving, just taking your 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 taking your bundle and just moving forward. That's what my guides just said. Taking your bundle and moving forward. In the immediate past, you have the Tower card. Tower. The Tower is about, I think it's a downfall. I think that this may create a downfall for somebody. I'm not sure who. My guys just said, yes, you are. You're certain of who. I'm like, they're so bossy sometimes. And then Sunshine just said, no, we're not. We're just honest. Like, okay, you're honest. Okay. So this could be the downfall of the U.S. Uh, regime. But it's in the immediate past. So things are collapsing. Things are crumbling. The overarching energy is the Queen of Swords. This is the hard-nosed feminine energy. And the Queen of Swords is a very hard as nails feminine energy. So does this mean that there's a feminine energy that's kind of looming over all of this, that's going to take control? You know that um, the woman who got the Nobel Peace Prize is a part of the opposing energy in Venezuela. And I think the Nobel Committee has basically wondered why the heck they decided on her. Well, too late. Maybe they should have done a little bit more research on her before they gave her this award. But at any rate, this is a hard-nosed, very firm, very solid feminine energy. So, is this about feminine energy in the U.S. overarching this entire thing? I think this is giving me more questions than answers, actually. But now, we'll just see. I'll just keep going. But this is that feminine energy that's overarching all of this. In the immediate future, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is the oligarchy. This is the people hoarding the money, because this is about money. This whole thing is about money. They may have it wrapped up in oil. They may have it wrapped up in crypto. They may have it wrapped up in drugs. But this is about the oligarchy. This is about these rich people, rich and powerful people who are just trying to carve up the world in their idea of what the world is supposed to look like. This does not give me much hope. Internally, we have the Seven of Cups, which is chaos. This is the absolute chaos. This is how everybody sees the world, is in utter chaos. It's in absolute disarray. Everything is in disarray right now. Internally, we have temperance. And one of the things that somebody told me with regards to temperance, it's not pictured, it's not shown in this card, but I think Libby said that in the wider weight deck, the temperance card has the two pillars that are in the DEATH card. And the two pillars are in the back of the temperance deck. Let me see. I've got a wider weight deck. So let me see. Yeah, I'll just use these. This is the Learning Tarot deck. So, but they're in order, so I can find them really quickly here. I know I'm diverting from everything, but I just think this is like really interesting. Okay, here we go. Find that. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here is this is the Temperance card in the wider rate deck. And what she noted was in the back here, right here, you see the sun and you see these two pillars that are in the back. It's very, very difficult to see because the card is so small, but there you go. And in here, in the death card, or the DATA card, you have that there. And that is what this is. So each of these cards has that sort of feel to it. That this could be leading to the endings and beginnings. And another reader said that they really liked the DEATH card because they said that card is a sign of a new beginning. So in this instance, temperance could be that leading the way towards a new beginning. So it's just something to think about. It's a different way to look at it. Hopes and Fears is the Page of Pentacles. God, my voice is getting really, really raspy. Sorry about that. But Page of Pentacles. And I'm going to grab my cheat sheet here. Page of Pentacles is studious, academic, studying, learning, hardworking. So this is the energy of people learning. Okay, my guides just said, Yvette, think about it this way. Back in the 60s when Vietnam happened, People opposed it. They did not understand fully why they opposed it, but they opposed it. In the 80s, when Ronald Reagan became president, there was a lot of question about how he undermined Jimmy Carter's run for presidency during the 1980 presidential election. Okay, I was like 10 years old at the time, so I don't remember very much about it. I just remembered, that Jimmy Carter was the president when I was like a little kid, and I really liked him. And most of the people made fun of him, but I thought he was absolutely awesome. So basically, people are learning and they're becoming aware of what this means and why they're opposed to it. So when you get something like this studious academic energy where people are going in and they're saying, you know what, we don't like this, and we are now understanding why we don't like it, and this is what the what these folks are most afraid of. See, when you have somebody who's really rich and powerful, the best way that they can control the masses is to keep them delved into ignorance and stupidity. And even the Orange Menace said back in the late 90s that he would become a Republican because their voters are the stupidest people in the world. That's not my words, that's his words. That's what he said back in the late 90s. So you keep people in ignorance, then they're not going to be willing to fight. And now you have the populace rising up and saying, no, we are not going to take this. We're not going to accept this. We do not want this. And so they're willing to fight for what they believe in. And so that's what this is about. This is about the Page of Pentacles is about that studious energy, that academic energy, wanting to learn, wanting to understand why things are the way they are. And so this gives me a little bit of hope that people are not as ignorant as people think. People think. Sorry, I'm starting to sound German here. People think. So when you have that energy of academia, then that counters everything about ignorance and about keeping people in the dark that these people, that these leaders and these rulers and stuff want to display. So when you have that studious energy, that means the end of ignorance. And when people understand what that person is doing or what their intentions are, then they're able to counter it in a way that will help enable the change of the energy. Final outcome, the Four of Swords. This gives me an absolute, I'm getting like chills now, but this gives me like this feeling of not about this person being ready to fight, but about the world being ready to fight against this person. And the Four showed up in the Four of Pentacles, and now it's showing up in the Four of Swords as the final outcome. The final outcome for the for this person in power is that energy. You're going to be looking over your shoulder. I don't see this coming out very well for those in power in the U.S. I really do not. One of the things that I see is when you do something that so many people hate and so many people are unhappy about, then what happens? You are constantly looking over your shoulder to make sure that nobody's there to do that Ten of Swords moment with you. Let me just pull a couple more cards and see what comes up. The Hierophant. This is that quiet, the feeling that I get is this quiet, contemplative energy that could, in fact, counter this. And when people are quiet, do you ever notice that when people are like really quiet and they don't say anything, that people are more worried about what their reaction is going to be? I mean, if somebody comes out and they say something and they're really angry and they're really ill-tempered and what have you, then you at least know what they're thinking and what's going on in their mind. But when people are quiet, that's when people need to start worrying, because they do not know what that person is thinking, and they do not know what that person is capable of. And I think that this is what's going to happen to a lot of people who are running the show in the US, is that there's going to be a lot of looking over the shoulder, and there's going to be a lot of these quiet people who are going to be in the background, and they're going to be plotting something. And I don't know what they're plotting. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're good guys or bad guys or what have you. I don't know, this whodunit type of thing. But what I'm seeing is, and this is my prediction about what's going on based on these cards and based on what I'm able to get from my guides, is there are a lot of people who are very, very quiet, very, very silent about what is happening. And these are the people that I think are going to be what's going to cause a lot of worry in the oligarchical group. That these oligarchs are going to think that they have all the power and they hold all the cards, but what they're going to actually realize is that silently people are going to be stopping. They're not going to buy products anymore. They're going to save their money. They're going to, this is quiet, silent resolve. And what I see happening is I see a lot of these oligarchs losing their power. And I don't, and I've been saying for like the last 6 months that this whole thing has a very French Revolution type of energy to it. There is a French Revolution style of energy that's going around right now. And I don't know if it's going to end up happening like the French Revolution. I have no idea. But it's that sort of energy feel that I'm getting. My guides are screaming, yes, yes, yes. So this is the feel that I get. And I see this silence, this hierophant type of energy, the silent, this isn't about raising a fist and fighting against this stuff, these people. This is a very quiet resolve that people have with regards to what they're going to do. And I think that what is happening is going to be the people in charge right now are running victory laps. They're doing their victory lap in the, you know, with their little, their actions and activities and stuff. They're doing that victory lap. But what I see happening is it's very short-lived. And I see the people, the consumers, the people, because we've lived in a very consumer-based thing, in an environment where it's like we have to have this, we have to have that, we have to do this, that, and the other. And now people are starting to recognize that having this, that, and the other is not working for them. They do not have to have the newest car. They do not have to have the newest mobile. They do not have to have the newest TV or the newest electronics or the newest this, that, and the other. They just have to survive. And they have to depend on their communities. And I think that what's happening is, I think now people are recognizing that they are living in an existence where they not only have to save their money and recognize what's going on, but that they're not going to be convinced when somebody says that this is going to be, well, let's just put it this way. They're not going to be completely convinced when somebody says that the prices of goods are going to go down, and that they are going to, that the that these prices of goods are not going down. When they go into the supermarket and they see that the prices are actually going up, then they're going to say, well, you know what? So and so said that the prices are going down, but I call bull Bucky on that. It's not happening. People are recognizing this. People are seeing this. They're seeing it in their own private economic situation, that it's not happening. And that I want to pull cards on one more question, and then I'm going to wrap up. And I know that this is going to go a little bit over, but I really want to ask about healthcare. I want to ask about healthcare in the U.S. because healthcare has always been an issue that has been very, very close to my heart. I live in Germany. Yes, I know. I have healthcare. I am not. I did not go into the poorhouse when I got cancer. I was able to get my treatments. I was able to get rehab. I was able to get. I went through chemo. I went through radiation. I had surgery. I went through. I went through. Oh, what's it? I went through surgery, chemo, radiation, and rehab, and I didn't pay anything. Or I paid very, very little for it. I probably paid just a little under $800, I guess, out of pocket for it. But it wasn't that extreme. No, I'd probably say about 500. Probably wasn't 800. Probably like $500. And but I went through 16 rounds of chemotherapy. I went through a drug called Herceptine, which is a hormonal drug that was through my well, I had to get it at the hospital, so I had to go to the hospital like once every 3 weeks to get Herceptine, which was the hormonal drug that would, you know, keep me alive basically. And then I had to take prescription medication for 5 years after that. So I was on, I'm no longer taking anything now. So I'm really happy about that. And my health has gotten a lot better. My eyes have gotten better. Everything's improved a lot. So health is something that I have a very, very strong feel towards. So I'm going to pull some cards on the healthcare. I mean, how are things looking for healthcare in the U.S. right now? How are things looking for healthcare in the U.S. right now? And I just Three of Swords and the Fool, or no, the Hangman. So this is like heartbreak and not good, not good. Heartbreak and uncertainty. Because the Hangman is like about, to me, it's about, I interpret it about uncertainty, about the uncertainty of how people contend with it. So these cards are really warming up to me, which is really good. So I'm really happy about that. I love these. I love these cards. They're really, really great. So it's nice to finally use them. So again, the Queen of Swords comes up. This is the strong feminine energy. This is the um this is the people. I mean, this is actually pretty, for me, pretty optimistic because this says this is about the strength and the this is the strength and the people saying they're not going to deal with it. They're not going to deal with what's going on. But this is like the last straw. I think this is what people are coming in. Crossed with the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about nostalgia. It's like I think people are like recognizing if only we had just accepted the ACA as it is and not put ourselves you know basically voted against our own best interests basically. So this is the nostalgia. This is the idea of why didn't we listen to what our conscience was telling us. Under The underarching energy is the Seven of Cups, which is the chaos. This is really not a good thing. This is like people are like recognizing now that this is like creating more and more chaos for them. That's creating more economic chaos. Some of the people are losing their insurance. Some of the people are not even they can't afford it. It's just too expensive. They can't afford it. In the immediate past, we have the Nine of Wands. This is them carrying that burden. Healthcare has been a burden on the people for like ages in the U.S. It's been a burden. It's just been. I mean, everywhere else in the world we have healthcare. Why do they not have it in the U.S.? Because they call it socialism and they scare people into thinking that this is not what we want. This is not the capitalist society or so whatever that we want. But the reality is there is nobody outside of the U.S. that has medical debt. Nobody. We have health care. If we have to go to the doctor, we go to the doctor. I have to go to the dentist every year, and I have a card that gets stamped by the dentist every single year just to make sure that I go preventative health care, that I take care of my teeth. Yeah. And this is the burden that people are under in the US right now with regard to health care. They are carrying a load. And the whole idea of this being socialism, or these coined phrases that people have about what socialism is, or you know what it is, they're not working anymore. People are looking at the other parts of the world, and they're saying, well, wait a minute, all of these countries have socialized medicine, and they still have democratic capitalist type countries, but they have a socialized medicine system. Why don't we have it? Why must we continue to carry this burden? The overarching energy is the Six of Wands. This is that, one of the things that Libby said about this is like the false, oh, what was it? The false victory card. You see this guy on this horse. The horse does not look happy. Look at that. That horse does not look pleased. And look at all the people. They're in the shadows. Some of them are walking away. This is what is happening with this healthcare system in the US. A lot of people are walking away from it. A lot of people cannot afford to get insurance. They don't have insurance. They just can't afford it. I mean, they're trying to put food on the table, and they can't afford health coverage. And a lot of them come from red states. They can't afford it. And they have completely dismantled what healthcare coverage they had in the states because of the ACA and because of the Republican Party. That's what they've done. In the immediate future, we have the Five of Cups. Oh my God. This is heartbreaking. This is really heartbreaking. This is, I mean, look at this person. They are in grief. They are aggrieved. And look at all these cups that are overturned. This is heartbreaking. This is absolutely heartbreaking. I am totally devastated reading these cards. This is so heartbreaking. People deserve to be able to have health care. They deserve to have health coverage. And this is what we're getting. This is what the US is getting. This rich, powerful country that decides to go to war somewhere else and is leaving their people in this state. How dare they? Internally, we have temperance. Again, leading to like I said earlier when I pulled this card, it's leading to a new beginning. Externally, it's leading towards a new beginning. People are going to reach this conclusion that they've had enough. They can't take anymore. Internally, we have the Chariot. And they're going to move forward. People are going to move forward. They've had it. They don't have anything to lose. They're going to move forward. Um, Hopes and fears is the King of Pentacles. And this is generally when I would pull this card, I would get generally when I pull this card, I would get this father figure, this loving energy, this loving paternal energy, but that's not what I'm getting here. What I'm getting is the Orange Menace. That's what I'm getting. Final outcome, Eight of Wands. People are going to move forward. They're going to say, okay, enough is enough. The hope that I see in this card is that people are just going to say they've reached a point where they've had enough. They can't take anymore. That this is not what life is supposed to be about. This is not what it's supposed to be about. The sun shining in the distance, this is what they're heading towards. Does this mean that the U.S. will eventually have universal health care? I don't know. I can't say. I don't know. But I can say that these people are looking towards that. They are looking towards that sun. They are looking towards that outcome. So, at any rate, that is pretty heartbreaking, all in all. Let me just, one more card. The Nine of Cups. How ironic. The rat pooping in the cup. This is what they're trying to offer. They're trying to offer people something and saying, oh, this is what we got, and this is what we're going to offer you, and this is what you're going to get. And it's a rat pooping in the cup. And finally, the Hangman. The uncertainty. It's all about uncertainty. Everything with this is uncertain. We don't know. At any rate, so that's what I've got. I think I'm going to close for now. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. And thank you for bearing with me with my voice. And yeah, I'm going to start doing the written meditations probably next week sometime. And then officially we'll start on the 11th, which is when Deborah Lupien's 11-day, 21-day meditation challenge will start. So see how it works. And I hope you have a great day. Take care and hang in there. And as always, namaste.